Welcome back. You'll remember from our previous steps that a pronumeral is a container for a number. That's a good way to think of a pronumeral. It's something that holds a number. Just like this box of Smarties holds Smarties, we can think of the A pronumeral as holding a value. Sometimes we can't see that value. Other times we're going to put different values in it. But the idea is it's a container for a value. That's a good way of thinking about A. So for example, we might put the value of 10 inside the A, or we could put the value of 50 inside of A. We're not too worried for most of our work at this stage. What goes inside the A, we just want to be able to manipulate the A. So what if we have more than one of these containers? So for example, we might have 3 boxes of Smarties. Well, if we have 3 lots of these X containers, we're going to call it 3X or 2X. Or just one of these containers, we're going to call it, I just called it X, not 1X. Did you notice that? A slight difference. This is a style thing. We can write 1X. There's nothing wrong with writing 1X. But usually, because we like to take as many shortcuts as possible in maths to be efficient, we'll often just write it as X. And I call this the invisible one. So an X on its own is the same as 1X. Is it wrong to write 1X? Here's how I like to answer that question. Is it wrong to wear this hat? This is a very famous incident many years ago at a royal wedding where one of the princesses turned up wearing this incredible hat. Is it wrong to wear this hat? There's nothing wrong with writing 1X, but you have to admit it's not very stylish. Did you notice that there were 2 different ways we could get 2X's? We could add 2 boxes of Smarties together, so that would be X plus X, which would give us 2X. Or we could just take one box and multiply it by 2. So in fact, we're expressing a slightly different algebraic and arithmetic idea here. One is addition, one is multiplication. Both these expressions become 2X. Notice on the right-hand side, the 2X doesn't have a multiply sign. It's lost the multiply sign. And that leads us to our next convention, which is called the invisible multiply sign. So anytime you see 2X, understand it's the same as 2 times X. If you see 5X, it's 5 times X. We're just deciding not to write the multiply sign. Algebra is full of these stylish shortcuts. And I think you can see, looking at this, why we would like to write 2X and not 2 times X, which would get very confusing very quickly. So it isn't wrong to write the multiply sign, but usually we don't. All right, so this is where we're up to in our journey. We can say 2A plus 3A is 5A. And we did a set of examples like these in the last lesson. Notice the word simplify. Simplify is a very important word in algebra. It means to reduce the algebraic expression to its simplest form. So for example, 3v plus 8v, well, we worked out that's 11v. It's simpler to write 11v than 3v plus 8v. Now, as we do more advanced algebra, we could have a bit of a discussion about what the simplest form would be. Sometimes it's hard to choose the simplest form, but you'll learn by example what's expected. So for our purposes, simplify right now means reduce the expression as small as we can. So before we go any further, let's just do a bit of practice. Now here's a bank of questions. There's a lot of questions, but I'm not asking you to do all of them. I'm asking you to choose a bank to do. You choose the difficulty level. Going with our Everest theme, you can do the 1 yak question block, the 2 yak question block, or the 3 yak question block. You choose which ones you want to do. Do them in your exercise book. Let's hit the video on pause. So here are the solutions. Check the solutions for the bank of questions that you did. So let's look at these three expressions on the screen. The first expression has what we call two terms. The next expression has got four terms, and the last expression has got one term. Can you see what I mean by a term? So it's another word to go into our dictionary, a term. It's a distinct component in an algebraic expression. We'll learn these by example. A term is like a word in our sentence. So looking at the second one, can you see we have a sentence, an algebraic expression is like a sentence, 3m plus 2m plus m plus 3m. And the words in the middle of that sentence are like our 3m, 2m, m, and 3m. So to recap, in this part 3a, we've learnt how to add terms in x together. We've learnt the word simplify and the word term. Looking at the expression above, we've simplified an expression with four terms and reduced it down to an expression in one term, 12x. We've learnt about the invisible 1. You can see an invisible 1 up there. The third term has an invisible 1. And we've learnt about the convention of the invisible multiply sign, which is pretty much all the way through that expression. Join me in step 3b, where we'll explore what happens when we have subtraction signs.